What's good, y'all? It's your boy Ross back at it again with another video. So I'm gonna check out Dodge just canceled the RT Charger Daytona. Here's why it flopped. I mean, once they decided to go full EV, people weren't going to invest or spend the money to get this new version of the Dodge Chargers that they were dropping. They just weren't. I mean, from the looks of it, people weren't liking the futuristic look. They weren't liking the fact that they weren't going to have the traditional engine that they're used to. They weren't liking the fact that they weren't going to have the traditional sound. The sound is coming from a speaker. Yes, it's loud, but people weren't clamoring for it. Or I guess you can say people weren't even trying to clamor for the idea. It's even faster than the previous gens. It's just, when it comes to American muscle and then you just make it full EV, I mean, the consumers weren't going to buy into it. It's just that simple. I think I've maybe seen one of these EV chargers out and about in the streets, and it looked clean in person, I guess, but I mean, nobody's spending that money to buy this. If anything, they'll probably try to buy them, a used or one. You don't even have to buy you a used charger or RT charger. They're just sitting on the lots right now because a lot of people are just not trying to, don't have the money to pay for them with this economy. But nobody is trying to buy this. It's not the same. When you think of Dodge, you don't think of this. You think of, obviously, the traditional engines the Hemi engines that they've been putting in their lineups for the past few years. And even my mom, she's a Dodge, fan. She has a last edition, I think it was a 2023 Challenger Scat Pack. She got the last edition. She loves the Challenger series. She loves the Scat Packs. And even then, when she saw this, she's like, nah, I'm good. I'll pass on it. So we're gonna check this out. I mean, people just not trying to buy EV chargers, bro. I don't know what they were trying to get into that market, but it failed miserably.
What if I told you the Dodge Charger Daytona promised to be the future of Dodge and muscle cars, but it just got a major reality check? After a rocky launch and a lukewarm reception, Dodge seems to be pivoting and very fast, and the changes they're making will tell you everything you need to know.
I do like the interior of the new one because I've always felt like Dodge and just like their lineup, I felt like the interiors have been the same for too long. So I do like the upgraded interior. I think they can keep that if they go forward, but everything else they would definitely need to change.
About how this rollout went. The Charger Daytona isn't just getting updated, it's getting rebranded, removed, replaced, and reworked before the factory makes another car. Now I'm over 42,000 friends, and the 72% of you guys who are hurting my feelings by watching these videos and not hit the subscribe button, help a butter out while we dive into this EV mess that Stellantis has caused for Dodge. We now know that Dodge is dropping the entire stage kit for the Daytona EV lineup. No more stage 1, no more stage 2, just already at maximum power when you buy the car. No badges on the fenders anymore to symbolize stage 1, stage 2. No extra pricing tied to going to the dealer to buy stage kits, which on an EV does not make any sense whatsoever. The car is capable of more horsepower, but Dodge is going to software lock the car out of you being able to access that horsepower and then make you pay more money in order to access something that your car can already do.
Yeah, which is crazy when you think about it. A lot of these car companies do that, even Mercedes. If you want to be honest, the engines on the Mercedes, they essentially can put out a lot more power, but the reason why they don't do that is because they want you to buy the 63 model. That's really what it is. That's essentially what Dodge was doing. Like, yeah, you can have a stage 1 or a stage 2 where basically, even though the car can perform at the maximum horsepower and torque and stuff, we're just going to limit it, put it behind essentially a paywall. And then if you want the stage 2, you got to pay extra for it. And the same thing with this. That's why a lot of guys would just go to a tuner who knew what they were doing to unlock the cars. So that way you can get more of the horsepower and torque. And obviously, Mercedes is not a big fan of that. And some of these dealerships are not a big fan of that, or manufacturer companies. So they put in extra systems to make it harder for you to tune, which makes the tune cost even more. But that's basically what Dodge was doing. They are like the tuners themselves in a sense. They were just trying to sell it to you, which is like, damn, that's kind of fucked up. But that's how they're trying to make their extra money.
I can offer a track day feature. I can offer a feature that says, hey, you want to buy it for the weekend. And then if you like it for the weekend while you're at the track, you can then pay more and keep it, things like that. And even though you can do more performance with electrification with some updates, you still have to have hardware, right? You still have to have suspension, you still have to have brakes, you still have the tires. And that's why we said, hey, we're going to launch 3 different trim levels, but 2 power levels up on each of those trim levels is going to be available through direct connection. The reason that we did that and didn't say, hey, it's 1 power level and you can buy 8 more is because you need the hardware. So you buy the first car and we're going to give you the hardware that we're not going to let you outrun your suspension, your wheels, your tires, your brakes, and still step up. And then the next one, you're not going to be able to outrun your wheels, tires, brakes, and then the next one, and the next one. So we're going to bake that capability in. If you buy the car and you never upgrade it, did you overpay a little bit? Yeah, maybe a little bit. You got a little more brake, a little more suspension, a little more tire than maybe you needed.
That's crazy, bro. Think about that. Yeah, you paid a little bit more because now your car can handle as much horsepower as you would want, but you didn't buy the upgraded tier. So, yeah, you got all the extra benefits with the hardware, but it's not really being used to its full capacity. Yep. That's why the motherfuckers are sitting there collecting dust.
But it's a muscle car. It's fine.
This was supposed to happen after the launch edition Daytonas, but Dodge never went through with the whole process of taking the stage kits off of the actual cars. Probably because they knew that if they did that, those EVs, the RT and the Scat Pack, will get easily smoked by EVs, which they are in most cases, and even gas cars as well. Because if you did not know, the Scat Pack EV was only supposed to have 590 horsepower, and only because of 2 stage kits added, that it took the horsepower up to 670. Now, if you need to remove your identity system for these performance versions of these EVs within basically 3 months, the stage kits was not just resonating with customers, it was just basically a dud. Now instead, Dodge is going to repackage the Charger Daytona into 2 simpler trims, basically just a Scat Pack and a Scat Pack Plus, both that has 670 horsepower. No stage kits, no digital horsepower unlocks, just 2 trim levels that now include both the 2-door and the 4-door of the Charger Daytona in 2026. And the RT, basically from this graphic, looks like it is basically eliminated. So if you own an RT, you are one of the lucky few or the unlucky few that own a discontinued model that didn't sell well. But honestly, the RT did not make any sense whatsoever, and it never should have existed.
So the Scat gets drift and donut, RT doesn't. RT doesn't. Scat also gets drag and track.
So are the EDMs the same size from Scat to RT?
Yeah, they're both 250 kilowatt hour EDMs.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
And then so what's the limiting factor for horsepower? Is it the battery? The different size battery?
It's the EDM.
Okay, I got it.
So how much power you can put through the EDM and how much output the EDM will.
Okay, so they are different. Okay, so they are different spec EDMs.
The EDMs are the same on the Scat Pack and the RT.
Oh, they are?
And the
Okay.
battery and all the platform is the same. Besides,
Bro, it's basically just them depowering it to sell it cheaper in a sense, or to get more people to want to buy the Scat, bro, because it's all electric. It's basically just like if a tuner was selling you a brand new vehicle and they have the option, yeah, everything's the same. It's just one is tuned to be a little bit more faster than the other. That's about it.
it's like some of the chassis hardware. So
Yeah.
like on the Scat Pack, this has the track pack on it.
Yeah.
So dual valve adaptive damping suspension.
Right.
The SRT brakes. So we haven't even talked about like any of the SRT stuff.
Yeah.
That'll still come, but the brakes are from the SRT model. So the huge 6 pistons, staggered wheel and tire setup come in that, and then the fixed back, high back seats too.
So the only thing really that differentiates the Scat on the RT is, well, besides the suspension, and braking,
chassis, interior, seats, some of the tech.
It's like software, kind of.
Yeah.
Software wise, that's what I think about software.
A little bit,
You know what I mean?
yeah.
So maybe in the future you could have like different stage packages.
The RT Charter Daytona was basically a software locked scat pack.
That's it.
They also blocked a couple of options like seats and brakes that basically the scat pack already had. It was basically the same as that car, but yet it occupied a space in Dodge's lineup that made no sense. And the main thing about that car was it wasted a second Hemi trim name. If it would have made just a scat pack from the beginning, or made just basically RT from the beginning, it could have saved the other name for another model that people actually liked. Now, I wish Dodge would have deleted the scat pack name from the Charter Daytona, because everyone and their mama knows that the Hemi is coming back. The name of a car is very, very important, and Dodge knows that firsthand. The name Scat Pack saved the SRT 392 car from being a sales flop. Now, if you don't believe me, my dear friend will tell you how huge it was to rename the SRT 392 to the Scat Pack, and how that impact it created for Dodge.
Yeah.
It's that visualization, it's that attachment that makes that brotherhood, it makes that bond amongst these people. So, but it was really the start of that creation of visualization and attachment, that from there we went to Scat Pack. And Scat Pack to me is probably the best example ever. Scat Pack's our fastest turning, highest volume car that we have today.
Yeah.
Do you know the Scat Pack existed before the Scat Pack existed?
No.
Absolutely identical car, sold about 1% of our mix. We changed it to Scat Pack, put the logo on it, created visualization and identification, and went from 1% to 40%.
Calling this EV just a...
My mom's a living testament. My mom in 2015 had a Scat Pack Challenger. And like I just told you at the beginning of the video, she wanted to get the last edition Scat Pack, the 2023. So the name itself was selling them. Like, bruh, you see Scat Packs all over the place. So
stuff, or maybe just a Charter Daytona RT, I think that would have been fine in the long run. But to give this thing the Scat Pack name, and that was one of the most popular names of all the Challengers and Chargers, I think that hurt Dodge's reputation, not just for the fact of a Dodge EV, but because they stuck the iconic names of cars to cars that nobody wanted in the first place. I mean, if you see how well it worked out for Ford, nobody really wants a Ford Lightning. And even though that was one of the most popular trims for the actual F-150, no one cares about the F-150 Lightning. Now it's just a joke of its former self. The Mustang Mach-E, I mean, really people buy that car because it is cheap compared to the Mustang. Taking iconic names and putting them on classic cars that people love, that's not really the right answer. But like I said, if you don't agree with me, it's fine. But look at it like this. This would be the third time that Dodge has renamed these EVs that they've made. And they've only been out for really 1 quarter. Because if you remember, I'm gonna see how far you can remember this. If you remember, these cars were supposed to be called the Charter Daytona 340, and then the 370 for stage 1, and then the 400 for stage 2. Those names were all changed to RT. And then for the 440 for the actual Scat Pack vehicle, and then you have 470 for stage 1 and 500 for stage 2. And like I said, that name was changed to Scat Pack. And so basically these cars in 2026 will have the name changed for a third time, and they will have no more reference to stage kits again. I'm just saying, if you don't want to believe me that this car was a failure to launch and people was not buying them, the name got changed multiple times within a quarter. And I want to hear someone tell me in the comment section, when have you ever heard of a Scat Pack, a Hellcat, a Red Eye, a Superstock, or a Demon 170 failing so badly they had to change the name that many times in such a short time frame? I'm just saying. And there's more from Dodge with the Charter Daytona. They also unlocked previously mandatory packages like the Track Pack to help reduce the base price of this car. Now, that to me is a clear sign that this product is underperforming at launch. To me, this is like trying to remove the RT name and remove mandatory packages. It's basically like the automaker's version of slapping in a "we're going out of business" sale for this car without publicly admitting that this car was a failure, no one wants to buy it, and they're trying to figure out ways how to lower the MSRP without having to, tell anybody that they're doing this. All the changes point to me one thing, that this car is not landing the way that Dodge hoped. And now the brand is scrambling to simplify the lineup, ditch all the digital stage kit nonsense, and prepare the market for what really matters, the return of the Hemi engine. Simple. How much do you want to bet that you will see the Charger RT again, but this time I guarantee you it's gonna have a 5.7 Hemi in it?
Yeah.
How much you want to bet? A 392 version, Dodge still has a trademark for the name Super B, so that would be a pretty cool name to upgrade from, going from Scat Pack to Super B as next generation Charger. And I think that would be a great step going forward, since they're now all of a sudden changing names of all their cars. I'll talk about the actual 6-pack cars in another video. All these changes to these cars are basically a band-aid to cover up the wound that Stellantis created. They killed off the Hemis, they killed off the Challenger, they basically put an iconic name on an EV that no one asked for. And basically they just tarnished Dodge's reputation, like they wanted to intentionally cause Dodge to fail. I'm very, very hopeful that in the near future, we're going to see a 5.7 Hemi Charger, a 392 Hemi Charger, and hopefully a 6.2 liter supercharged Hemi V8 Charger coming out within the next, let's say, year. So what's next for Dodge? I think Dodge is trying to course correct and try to get prices down and make the lineup easier to understand, because this whole nonsense of having all these iconic names put on EVs, I did not really like it. But I'm hopeful that with all these changes that we're going to see some positive stuff come out of Dodge. And I think with them doing all this stuff, it's kind of saying out loud what we all know that's going on. That this car, this Charger Daytona, this launch, it did not hit. And if you've been following this from the beginning, none of this is very surprising. The EV rolls out was rushed, marketing was murky, and the product itself did not resonate with diehard muscle car base. But let me know what you think in the comments. Do you think Dodge can still salvage the Charger Daytona, or is it just a wash? Or is the only thing that can fix the Charger, like truly fix the Charger, is the return of the Hemi engine? Let me know what you guys think.
Return of the Hemi engine. Simple. You can go ahead and like this video. The butter inside, not the butter, butter the inside. I said that wrong. Butter the inside. Let me move myself down. Go subscribe to him. Definitely check him out. Definitely, this is my first time checking out one of his videos. Butter the inside. It's got a wild name, but nevertheless, definitely dope, informative video. It's just one of those things where, can it be salvaged? Sure, but with the lineup that they have now, yeah, the EV's not selling. They're not. Hell, to be honest with you, just a lot of manufacturers and dealerships, they're just having a tough time selling their vehicles. But I do think they just need to go back to what they know best. Their tried and true formula. Their bread and butter is going back to the traditional Hemis, bro. Going back to what made those cars the most popular cars in the United States, damn near, for a lot of people to have and to obtain. Go back to that. Go back to your roots. I get it. Y'all tried something different to jump into the EV game. It didn't work. Go back to your roots. That's where you'll get people to, want to buy more of your vehicles. And, keep the modernization of the interior. I think that's an important thing, too. At least switch up the interior. Do something to really want to get people to buy your cars. But, once again, companies, when they try to do something different and the fans are automatically, or their consumers are automatically, I don't know about this, and they still keep going with it, you get situations where cars are just sitting on the lot and they trying to do everything they can to sell them. But comment down below, let me know, how do you guys feel about the Charger EVs, the Charger Scat Packs, or Daytonas, or whatever the fuck they want to call them? How do you guys feel about them? Do you personally like them? Have you seen them a lot in your area? Or do you think this was a misstep for Dodge and they should go back to their roots? Let me know down below. Appreciate all love, support. Road to 150K one day. Road to 20K, and I'll see you on the next one. Peace.